Capturing speech audio at a wedding can feel overwhelming, but here at Wedding Film 101, we feel it's a necessary addition to any great wedding film. There are plenty of easy ways to capture high-quality audio, and I'm going to show you all of them. Now, I always recommend having 2 of these options running for speeches so that you have a backup. And any gear that I mention can be found in the kit linked in the description, but these are going to revolve around 3 different pieces of audio gear: a main recorder, a lav mic, and a secondary recorder like the Sony TX660 or the DJI Mic. Now, my number one source for audio is my main recorder, which is a Zoom F3. This gets plugged into whatever sound system is being used, whether that's from a DJ, a band, or the venue, and uses one of these 3 cables to do so. Now, I've carried these 3 cables with me for many, many years, and I've never not been able to get plugged in with one of these. Now, there's plenty of places that you can plug in with something like a DJ setup. Be sure to ask permission and work with them to see what they have available. Likely, they will tell you one of 3 options: either the back of their speaker, their mixer, or the back of the microphone receiver if they're using a wireless setup. And I want to give a quick note on each of these options. So for the speaker, anything that comes out of that speaker will be recorded. So if the DJ plays music behind a speech, that will be recorded along with the speech audio. And any changes that the DJ makes will impact your recording. When plugging into the mixer, you will also be impacted by any settings or changes the DJ makes, though it is possible they might be able to control your output volume separately. And when plugging into the back of the mic receiver, you will only be getting the feed from the microphone and not any music or anything else coming out of the speakers. Now, generally for speeches, I find that I prefer that option, but any of them will usually do. Of course, be sure to do a sound check with the DJ, band, or venue and make sure things sound good on your end. In the world of weddings, though, we are all about backups. As the saying goes, if you have 2, you have 1. If you have 1, you have none. Things go wrong, and it's worth having another audio source to rely on. So here are a few others. First, I like attaching something small and slim, like the Sony TX660, directly onto the microphone being used for speeches. And I do this with an elastic sleeve. This provides me a safety track if something were to go wrong with my main feed from the DJ, or if someone were to grab the mic and start a speech before I was recording. The quality is completely usable, and this is a great cheap way to secure a second audio source that should work even if something happens to the DJ's audio setup. If you don't have that, but you do have access to lav mics like the Tascam DR10L or the Zoom F2 or something like that, you can always consider individually miking each person planning to give a speech. This should get you very usable audio, and it also doesn't rely on the DJ system, but it can be annoying, especially if you need to mic up more people than you have mics. So the final option for great wedding speech audio is to mic the speaker, meaning the actual speaker, where the noise is coming from. You can drape a lav mic like the Tascam DR10L over the top, or attach something like the Instamic or DJI Mic to the front of the speaker. This won't always work and will still be entirely dependent on the DJ audio quality, but it can be a nice backup that will capture some room ambiance as well. There are plenty of subtle things that people do differently, but generally speech audio options fall into one of these 4 categories. If you have any questions about recording speech audio for your wedding films, please leave them down below in the comments, and we'll see you in the next Wedding Film 101 video.